What's up, guys? Welcome to Good Bad Wrestling No Holds Barred. This is the show where we dig up cringeworthy wrestling from the past and then bury it again. I am your host, John.
And I'm Jack Brinks.
And today we are bringing you an episode that you could probably smell. We're gonna talk about the some of the famous sumo matches from professional wrestling.
I thought that smell was just me.
Before we get into the diapers, you can find us everywhere where there's podcasts. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, the works. If they got podcasts in the deepest, darkest corners of the internets, you can find us there. You can't hide from us. While you're there, please rate and review us. It helps us in the standings. We're trying to take down all the top podcasts in wrestling, so give us a rating and review. We're also on YouTube, Good Bad Wrestling No Holds Barred. If you wanna be able to see us, we're hideous. So, but if you're into that sort of thing, drop us a comment, hit that subscribe button. Somewhere over here, the subscribe button, so that you don't miss anything. And then
Pretty sure they want to miss stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to look at it. If you want to hear it via YouTube, that's an option. And then we're also on Facebook. So if you want to follow along with the announcements of the episodes and if you want to communicate with us that way, you got options to hit us with suggestions, send us the funny wrestling crap that you see, hit us with the memes, whatever you got, we want it. So you got lots of options to send it to us.
We don't want everything they got.
There's
a lot that was got on this, and I don't want any of it.
Yeah. So like I said, we are going to review some of the sumo things that have happened in professional wrestling, and then we'll rank them. We'll give you our personal rankings. Where should we start? Well, let's start with a brief overview of first the monster truck sumo match. We already did a whole episode on it, so it can be brief.
Yeah, so you guys don't need too much
but if you didn't listen to that episode, there was a time where WCW Nitro wasn't the Nitro that had defeated WWF for 2 years.
Yes, far from it.
So Hulk Hogan, after WWF but before NWO, was a sad character. And he was feuding with the Dungeon of Doom.
Oh, we're going to do a whole episode on those guys.
And the Dungeon of Doom's main weapon was the Giant, who is Big Show. And they were going to have a World Heavyweight Championship match, but before they could do so, they had to have a sumo monster truck match on the roof of the building, which I can't remember where that was. I want to say Atlanta.
I think it was Atlanta, yeah.
So on this picture, the roof of an arena, 2 monster trucks. Hulk Hogan, who has recognized that Hulkamania is fading, is wearing all black. His truck is red and yellow.
Yeah.
The Big Show's in the Dungeon of Doom truck, and they have
that was my favorite at monster truck shows.
Yeah.
The Dungeon of Doom truck.
Yeah. Gravedigger, Bigfoot, and Dungeon of Doom. And then they have a bumper to bumper push back and forth sumo that went seemingly half an hour.
They welded them together.
Oh, that's right.
In front of our eyes.
Together. It seemed to go on for half an hour. It went way too long.
And there was containers with pyro.
Yeah, there's explosives going off, and then Hogan wins after forever, and then he not accidentally pushes Big Show
off a 5-story building
outside of the truck. He pushes the human off of the arena. Did he land in the street? Did he land in the water? It doesn't matter. He came back and had the match, and he was neither wet nor destroyed.
He comes out and he's not hurt, not limping, dry as fuck. Which I think I prefer my Big Show dry than wet.
So, like I said, we did a whole episode about that whole incident. This also happened to be the Big Show's debut match, which I found out later on after we did the episode.
On WCW?
Yeah, it was his first match ever. This was his first match.
I thought he debuted at Halloween Havoc.
This was Halloween Havoc. The sumo thing was Halloween Havoc. And then so not only was this his debut, but it was the debut of the Yeti.
Oh yeah, we covered that on Halloween.
Yeah, the Halloween Havoc episode. And then
Yate.
yeah, and then there's just a bunch of bollocks. Anyways, so another sumo event that we just now watched was WrestleMania 21, where WrestleMania goes Hollywood. And I don't know if you noticed, but WrestleMania 37 is going to go Hollywood, as though WrestleMania 21 never happened.
Yeah.
And there
Fuck
was
WrestleMania 21.
there was a sumo match between Big Show
and
Akebono, who was a sumo wrestler.
Sumo wrestler and apparently pro wrestler.
But after this, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So he was like an actual sumo wrestling legend, or so we were told. And so they do the whole thing where the ring has no ropes and there's a Japanese referee, and Akebono comes out first, and Taz and Michael Cole are just in awe of the size of the guy.
I mean, he's a big motherfucker.
Yeah,
he's like 6'8", 520 pounds.
Yeah,
it's a monstrous person.
He's a scary looking fucker
and a big
too.
Diaper.
Yeah, and he's American.
Born in Hawaii.
Okay,
yeah,
so
American born, Japanese,
sort of American,
sort of, yeah,
American-ish. Yeah. And then Big Show comes out. Big Show immediately makes a mockery of it. He like lifts up his kimono as though it's a dress and like shows a little leg.
Yeah.
Like he's like, fuck me. Why do I get stuck with this dumb crap? This is my second sumo match. At least I'm not in a monster truck this time. At least I'm not gonna get pushed off of a 5-story building. They get in, they do the whole ceremony with like the knee slaps. You could tell Big Show is watching Akebono and just mirroring him because he didn't know what to do.
He probably didn't watch a single sumo match before this. Throwing the salt.
And then, yeah, they do the salt, and Michael Cole and Taz are explaining that it, cleanses and sacrifice to the gods. I don't know. And then they proceed to have a worked sumo match, which goes 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was 5 minutes of build up and then a 20-second worked sumo match.
Yep.
And then Big Show gets chucked out, and then they shake hands, and then that's the end of it. This is the same WrestleMania that had Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. It was the debut of the Money in the Bank match. I think this is where John Cena won his first title. Like, this is a very, very significant WrestleMania.
Yeah, and it had Big Show and Akebono.
And it also has Big Show versus Akebono.
How have none of our guests, when we've asked worse wrestling attire, not said Akebono in a diaper?
He has roles in places where I don't have places.
Like there's the spot between your pelvis,
like the crease of your top of your thigh,
and there's four
roles in that tiny space. I could barely look at either one of them.
And the camera guy kept, when they would do like their squat, they kept switching.
The camera would get low
to the shot of the camera behind the ass.
Get the proctologist view.
I almost threw up, I think, 12 times. I had a big lunch.
I really could have done without any of that. Okay, and then the third one that we watched was from an episode of Raw in, I want to say, like 95, maybe 94, 95, something like that. And it was Earthquake,
John Tenta
versus Yokozuna from the Inouye family, who is not from Japan.
Okay. Okay, but they built, like, they tried to make him to be Japanese, right?
Yokozuna?
Yeah.
I think he was billed as being from Polynesia representing Japan. But he was wearing a Japanese flag.
And Akebono's from Japan. So what do they have against Hawaii?
Yeah. Yeah. Why are they just not saying these people are islanders? Like, I don't.
Vince has something against Hawaii.
So they give you a little bit of background on John Tenta and his sumo wrestling career in Japan.
This was impressive.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I have. So as you can see, I don't know, somewhere up behind John, there's a signed picture of Earthquake because we joke about the natural disasters.
Yeah, and what a hilarious team they are.
And he's not a real shark, apparently.
The natural disasters are kind of dope sometimes, but if you really think about it, it's Shockmaster and the Shark.
Yeah. I legit got so much more respect for John Tenta watching. So they actually played on that episode like a build up, or they made a little vignette
of his like, sumo career.
Before he was a wrestler, he was a sumo wrestler. Like that's what he did. He was on they said 24-0. I found 21-7, which is on Wikipedia. And we all know Wikipedia is legit.
The most trusted source. Yeah, his name was Kodo Tenzan, which he said meant like godly instrument of death or something. I don't know. I don't remember what it meant. But so the three things I knew about Earthquake before this were that he is not a shark.
Number one.
That he had killed Damien, Jake's snake, and I will never forgive him for that.
Number two.
That's the most horrific thing I've ever seen on TV. And also that the natural disasters are my favorite GoodBad team. So I gained a lot of respect for him. So they have their sumo match, and it's the same thing as the other one. They do the salt, they do the ceremony, then they have another worked sumo match.
Yeah.
I would be interested in two gigantic professional wrestlers having a shoot sumo match.
So
you'd have my attention then.
The Big Show Akebono was supposed to be, like they claim it was.
It definitely was not.
But if you look,
it 100% was not.
This is the problem I have. Like you said, I would love to see. I'm not a big fan of sumo, right?
Yeah, and on day-to-day basis, it never crosses my mind. But if you get two people the size of these people, that aren't monster trucks, I'd be interested.
Big Show doesn't know how to throw salt. Like
he knows how to put it on his rack of ribs and eat it whole like a Flintstone.
Going against what they tell you is like a legendary sumo wrestler.
Yeah,
and then they build John Tenta up to be like he's a legit sumo wrestler against Yokozuna, who never once did sumo wrestling. Yeah. So in all measures, Akebono and Tenta should have wiped the floor with their opponents. I don't care that Yokozuna is literally twice the size.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about sumo wrestling, but I have to imagine in all athletic, sumo wrestling included, if one person knows what they're doing and another doesn't, then that person should get smoked.
Yeah, size doesn't become as big of a factor when you have the ability. So when you, at least Big Show and Akebono's, it was how long? The actual
30 seconds.
Yeah. And then
30-second encounter probably.
When you got Tenta and Yokozuna, and they're doing the Tenta's pushing Yokozuna to the edge of the ring, and he's like, whoa, I'm gonna fall. And then he like does a go behind, and he gets behind Tenta, and he's pushing him, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna fall. Like this back and forth. At one point, one headbutts the other. Pretty sure headbutting is not allowed in sumo wrestling.
Okay, so we can agree all three instances suck.
Yeah.
Terrible television, terrible for wrestling, not something you want to watch. But since we do this show, I want you to rank your top bottom three sumo matches from worst to best.
So worst is going to be the monster truck.
Okay.
Because it's not a sumo anything. It's a disgrace to sumo wrestling that they call it a sumo monster truck. These monster trucks aren't fatter than regular monster trucks. They don't smell and wear big diapers. Like it's a monster truck.
The whole point of sumo is the hand fighting.
Yeah.
Right? So it's so stupid. Okay. All right. So what's your second worst or second best?
Second best.
Second best from the bottom. Second top worst.
I'm actually going to do this different because there's only three.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to go number 3, and then I'm going to go number 1. And I think my number 1 out of these for me is going to be, I think is Tenta and Yokozuna.
Okay.
I think it came down to I was extremely surprised that he was actually a sumo.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So my legit respect for him.
Yeah.
But like before, to me, he was just kind of a goof, kind of a joke.
He was no joke when he killed Damien. I can tell you that much. Shit traumatized me for so long.
But I also, I would like to hear what sumo wrestlers think of this being mocked.
Yeah.
In WWE. Like if you're going to do a shoot sumo, they'd probably be, okay, cool, it's a big stage. Like at WrestleMania, you're giving them a WrestleMania stage to show what they're doing.
I would love to know how much money Akebono cleared for 1 minute of work.
Yeah.
On this stage. All right, I'm gonna give you my ranking. Number 3 is obviously the monster trucks. However, the event as a whole, that main event as a whole, is one of my favorite good bad things that I've ever seen, and especially that we've covered, because if you take in all the Dungeon of Doom crap and the Yeti and all of that, that's really entertaining. The sumo portion of it, one of the dullest things you could ever watch, because it is seemingly 5 minutes of 2 trucks pushing each other around and loud noises and the announcers trying to cover for it.
Helicopters and explosions.
My middle is Big Show and Akebono. That was a literal waste of time, but at least it was a waste of not very much time.
Yep.
And then I don't want to go as far as to say that I enjoyed Earthquake and Yokozuna, but I will say this. That's my number 1 because mostly Macho Man on commentary.
Holy shit. Macho Man on commentary was gold.
Because the whole time they're making their entrances, Vince McMahon is talking about other things that are going to happen on this show, and just promoting the show and the company. And then when they get in the ring, Macho Man goes, "I didn't hear a word you just said, brother, because look at Yokozuna." What? You can't hear him because of what? And then he goes,
what do you say? I'd expect it, but I didn't.
And he goes, I can't wait. Or maybe I can.
Yeah.
Well, can you or can't you?
It's pretty cut and dry.
And then Vince used the word girth, talking about Yoko, and Macho goes, "I have another definition for the word girth." Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm listening.
There's like 4 or 5 instances where he was saying stuff simply to try to pop the boys, because Vince said that these 2 men looked like a whole half of an offensive line, which is Steiner math that I don't understand. Godspeed, Scott Steiner. And then Macho Man responds to that by saying he looks like Dick Butkus. He just thought of the funny words of Dick Butkus, so that had nothing really to do with what Vince was saying. He just knew how stupid this was, and he was trying to pop the boys. The other reason why it's my number 1 is that this era, the new generation WWF, is my favorite era of wrestling. Like, with Bret Hart and Owen and Shawn Michaels and Diesel and
Razor Ramon.
This is my favorite era of wrestling.
Doink the Clown.
Because this was the perfect blend of
Gobbledygooker.
The Goon. This was the perfect blend of sports entertainment and professional wrestling. Was this era. So I actually got excited when Earthquake came out. I love that music. Would I recommend it to somebody? No. Probably not. All right, well, that's going to cover it for our review of sumo in professional wrestling. If you survive the coronavirus, stick around because we're going to cover the news of the week.
Also, Facebook, Instagram, comment your rankings, your top, bottom, top.
Also, if you have another name for us to rank stuff, because we do shitty things, so we don't know how to rank them.
Is it the top 3, the bottom 3?
Yeah,
the bottom,
bottom. We can't figure it out. So if you guys want to help us out there, drop us a DM or a comment, or hit us up on Facebook and let us know. And like I said, stick around for the news, and we will talk to you guys next time. Peace.